Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Right now, we're going to read the story of Cinderella. Earlier, we read the story of Cinderella in class, so now we're going to hear about Cinderella. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a widowed gentleman and his lovely daughter, Ella. Ella was a beautiful girl. She had golden hair, and her eyes were as blue as forget-me-nots. The gentleman was a kind and devoted father, and he gave Ella everything her heart desired. But he felt she needed a mother, so he married again, choosing for his wife a woman who had 2 daughters. Their names were Anastasia and Drizella. Sadly, the gentleman soon died. Then the stepmother's true nature was revealed. Only interested in her ugly, selfish daughters, she spent every penny on ribbons, laces, and jewelry for them. She gave nothing to Ella. The stepmother fired the butlers and maids and made Ella a servant. She gave Ella a little room in the attic, old rags to wear, and all the housework to do. Soon everyone called her Cinderella because she got so covered with cinders from cleaning the fireplaces. But Cinderella stayed cheerful, for she had many friends. The old horse and Bruno the dog loved her. The mice loved her too. She protected them from her stepmother's nasty cat Lucifer and made them tiny suits of clothes. 2 of her favorite mice, Gus and Jacques, always tried to help her with the housework. Cinderella was kind to everyone, even to Lucifer. But Lucifer only took advantage of her kindness. Lucifer liked to get Cinderella in trouble. One morning he chased Gus under a teacup on Anastasia's breakfast tray. She screamed when she found Gus and blamed Cinderella. As punishment for playing this joke, the stepmother said to Cinderella, "You will wash the windows, scrub the terrace, and sweep the halls, and don't forget the sewing and the laundry." "But I just finished," Cinderella cried. "Then do them again," snapped the evil woman. In another part of the kingdom, the king was worrying about his son. "This time the prince got to marry," he told the Grand Duke. "I need grandchildren." "But sire," said the Grand Duke, "he must fall in love first." "No buts about it. We'll have a ball. It will be very romantic. He'll fall in love." "But sire, it's not that easy," argued the Grand Duke. "It can't fail," the king shouted. "We'll have the ball tonight. Send out the invitations." There was great excitement in Cinderella's house when the invitation arrived. "By royal command," the stepmother read from the official-looking note, "every girl in the kingdom is invited to a ball in honor of the prince." "Why, that means I can go too," Cinderella said. "Well, yes, I suppose it does," the stepmother replied with a sly smile. "But only if you get all your work done, and only if you have something suitable to wear." Cinderella had hoped to fix her old party dress, but Anastasia and Drizella wanted her to help them instead. "Cinderella, iron my petticoat," they ordered. "Cinderella, clean my shoes. Cinderella, draw my bath and curl my hair." The stepmother kept her busy too. Clean the chimney, dust the parlor, mend those buttonholes, polish the silver. Cinderella worked hard all day long. When she finally came back to her little attic room, it was almost time to leave for the ball, and her dress wasn't ready. But her loyal friends, the mice, had taken care of everything. While Cinderella was working, so were they. Dodging Lucifer's sharp claws, Gus and Jacques managed to find ribbons, sashes, ruffles, and bows. The mice sewed them to her party dress. It looked beautiful. When Anastasia saw Cinderella, she shrieked, "Those are my ribbons! Give them back!" "That's my sash!" shouted Drizella. "You little sneak!" The stepsister snatched and grabbed until the dress was in shreds. "That's enough, girls," said the stepmother. "Come along to the ball." Cinderella ran into the garden. She wept and wept. The old horse, the mice, and Bruno the dog stood by helplessly. Suddenly a hush fell over the garden, and a cloud of lights began to twinkle and glow around Cinderella's head. "Come on, dry those tears," came a gentle voice. Then a small woman appeared in the cloud. "You can't go to the ball looking like that. Now, where's my magic wand?" "Magic wand?" gasped Cinderella. "Are you my fairy godmother?" the woman replied, pulling her magic wand out of thin air. "What we need is a pumpkin," she continued. "Watch this. Salakadoo, la minchikaboo, la bibbity bobbity boo. Put it together and what do you got? Bibbity bobbity boo." As she sang the words, a cloud of sparkles floated across the garden. A pumpkin rose up and swelled into an elegant coach. The mice turned into horses, and the old horse became a coachman, and Bruno became a footman. "Now off you go, dearie," said the woman. "But my dress," said Cinderella. "You look lovely," the fairy godmother said absent-mindedly. Then she took a second look. "Good heavens! You can't go to the ball in that. Let's see now." With a wave of her wand, she turned Cinderella's rags into an exquisite gown. On Cinderella's feet were tiny glass slippers. "Remember," the fairy godmother said, "you must leave the ball at midnight. That's when the spell will be broken and all will be as it was before." When Cinderella arrived at the ball, the prince was yawning with boredom. Drizella and Anastasia had just been introduced to him. Then he caught sight of Cinderella. Ignoring everything around him, the prince walked over to her. He kissed Cinderella's hand and asked her to dance. They swirled off across the ballroom. The prince never left Cinderella's side. They danced every dance together. As everyone watched them, the lights dimmed and sweet music floated out into the summer night. "Good," said the king with a contented smile. "Notify me the minute he proposes. I'm going to bed." And then Cinderella heard the clock begin to chime. "Oh no," she gasped. "It's midnight. I must go." "Wait, come back," called the prince, but Cinderella was already running out of the ballroom. Cinderella hurried down the palace steps, tripping for a moment. She lost one of the glass slippers, but she had no time to pick it up. She leapt into the waiting coach. As soon as the coach went through the gates, the magic spell broke. Cinderella found herself standing by the side of the road, dressed in her old rags. Next to her was a pumpkin, 4 mice, an old horse, and Bruno the dog, but on her foot she still wore the other glass slipper. The next day, the stepmother told the girls that the Grand Duke was coming to see them. "He's searching the kingdom," she said, "for the young lady whose foot fits the glass slipper. The king has said that whoever she is, she will marry the prince." Cinderella smiled and left the room humming. Her stepmother, hearing Cinderella humming the very waltz that had been played at the ball, became suspicious. She followed Cinderella up to her room and quickly locked the girl inside. Slipping the key into her pocket, the stepmother hurried off to greet the Grand Duke. Gus and Jacques had a plan to help Cinderella, while Anastasia and Drizella each tried to squeeze their big feet into the glass slipper. The 2 mice sneaked up the back of the stepmother's chair. Carefully, Gus lowered Jacques into her pocket, and they got hold of the key. They tugged the heavy key up the stairs and unlocked the door. Cinderella went downstairs to try on the glass slipper. When Cinderella came into the room, the Grand Duke's eyes lit up. "Your Grace," she said, "may I try on the slipper?" The wicked stepmother fumed with anger. She tripped the page boy who was holding the glass slipper. It fell to the floor and broke into 1,000 pieces. The Grand Duke was horrified, but not Cinderella. "Don't worry," she said, reaching into her pocket. "I have the other one right here." She put on the slipper, and of course, it fit perfectly. From that moment on, everything was a dream come true. Cinderella went off to the palace with a happy Grand Duke. The prince was overjoyed to see her again, and so was the king. She and the prince were soon married. In her happiness, Cinderella didn't forget about her friends, Bruno the dog, the old horse, the birds, Gus and Jacques and the other mice. They all moved into the castle with her. Everyone in the kingdom was delighted with the prince's new bride. Cinderella and the prince lived happily ever after. Thank you for reading with me, everyone. I can't wait to see you soon. Have a great day.